Heyo everybody, Haku here with my Fear the Walking Dead Season 2 Episode 3 Ouroboros review. And I've gotta say that this is the best, there have only been 3 episodes, but this has been the best episode so far this season. And there's already sort of kind of the little promo tagline descriptions out for the next 3 episodes. And holy crap, it looks like things are going to get pretty hype. But this was good. I honestly think that it was almost a bit of a bipolar episode because we split into 2 groups, and I'll go over it more deeply once I start breaking it down scene by scene. But the group on the island, that was really good. That was some of the most exciting and some of the best, I don't want to say best choreographed, but the best written and how the different characters moved around and the different things they all experienced and stuff. That was some of the best stuff that's happened in Fear the Walking Dead, in my opinion. And then at the other pole, the people that stayed on the boat, that was just, it was not good. I didn't enjoy it. And I'm going to express the stuff I didn't enjoy with you guys, because I have a feeling from what I'm seeing in comments and stuff, the stuff that I'm liking and enjoying about this series is the stuff that most people are really liking and enjoying, with the fresh take on zombies at the water and stuff, and seeing some action and how the characters go from not knowing what to do to starting to learn. And then the things that I complain about are the things that a lot of people are complaining about. Some of the characters being very unlikable. And just how tedious and annoying this internal conflict is. That's going to be the one big complaint I have about this episode. I'll get the one big complaint out of the way before I go over some of the better stuff. That is that the internal conflict here is getting just annoying and tedious. I want to see the group band together and have to stay alive against these zombies, but they're so worried about just nagging each other and just being snarky and bitchy to one another to actually get anything accomplished, and it is annoying. It's really starting to weigh the series down. So we start where I predicted we would, and where I think a lot of people assumed we would start the episode, with a sort of flashback, or not, yeah, kind of a flashback, showing the story, what happened to the Flight 462 characters. Now, we see that the girl and the kid both escape, and they're on the raft, but the girl that we have all been calling Charlie is apparently Alex, and I know I saw Ronnie Hayes at Make a Path Presents, a bigger Walking Dead YouTuber, brought it up on Twitter during the episode, this chick we've all been calling Charlie is Alex. Why have we all been calling her Charlie? And that's legit what it said on everything I've read, is that she has been called Charlie everywhere. So she's Alex apparently. I have no clue why we've literally all been calling her Charlie. Maybe that was the casting call name or something. And then the kid is named Jake. We finally figure out his name, because I'm pretty sure his name wasn't ever brought up in the actual Flight 462. So the kid Jake is super, super injured, and we cut to Strand, and he's trying to make a call, and it sounds to me like he doesn't get through. He's trying to check on the people, say he's going to be there soon, but it doesn't sound like he gets through, and the way he just seems so stressed and worried, it makes me feel I don't know. For some reason, I don't trust Strand in the way that I don't think there's some big special complex. I think that maybe it's just, like I said before, maybe his family's just there and he's trying to get to them. I don't know. I'm lost for this. It doesn't seem like it's a sketchy thing that he's hiding, like some kind of big criminal underground syndicate or something like some people are guessing. I don't know. It seems weird to me. I guess we'll find out soon enough. So the boat stops. They diagnose that it's because there's something caught in the water intake. So Travis goes down there to scuba dive, and he finds the walker clogged in it. I think that we all assumed it was going to be like a corpse or a walker. I mean, as soon as they said the water intake's clogged, I immediately thought, oh, it's just a walker or a corpse from something. So it was pretty easy to guess where that was going. But the whole scuba scene didn't really go much of anywhere other than finding out that was there. It was kind of just a throwaway scene. But there was that scene, and then after that we get Ophelia, and we find out her wound is infected. And that's literally all she does all episode. Like, literally, Ophelia, once again, every single episode, another episode where she does absolutely nothing. She is starting to become my least favorite character. She does nothing, absolutely nothing. So the next part, Alicia spots the plane crash and all the luggage cases, and her, Chris, and Nick say, yeah, let's go scavenge it. They've got to have food, medicine, clothing. This is a great idea. And Madison tries to stop them, and Daniel ends up going with them so they can go scavenge it. But why would she try to stop them? Were they supposed to sit on the boat and do nothing all day except not have food and clothing and stuff, and just look at it while Travis is spending the entire day fixing the boat? Like, to me, that seems so stupid. I know there's a reasonable amount of danger with going to scavenge it, but it seemed so stupid to have nagging and internal conflict over something as simple as that. As simple as, there's stuff right there, we are literally doing nothing else for the entire day, let's go grab that stuff. And they're going to have internal conflict by having a character say, no, don't go get that stuff, sit here and look at stuff. The internal conflict is getting so tedious and so annoying, and especially the worst of it is with Madison. And I don't know what they're doing, because Madison was so good to me. She was a really cool character and really adjusted quickly in season 1, and now this season it's like her strategy for literally everything they do is sit here and do nothing. Like, I get that you don't want to go take unnecessary risks, but she doesn't want to take the risk of taking a step forward at all. She just wants them to sit there and do nothing at all times. It is getting to be very annoying. It's getting to be like just such a drag on the series that characters are doing this, and it doesn't make any sense. So the group that gets to the island, the really good part of this episode, they split up to go search for different stuff. Nick finds of course, the captain's jacket, and he finds a knife, which I was like, okay, cool. They need more weapons because they're just floating around fighting walkers with whatever random sticks and rocks they pick up. They don't even have any sort of improvised weapons, so it's nice seeing them start to get some stuff. And beyond that, we get, oh man, Chris was so cool in this. I didn't like Chris much in season 1, but season 2, I am liking Chris. This kid's becoming a badass. I liked him last episode, and I liked him this episode. Just the way he had his little curved piece of fuselage from the plane, and he beats the walker and the guy to death with it. And I really liked the detail they put into the guy with the back injury. It was kind of gross and gruesome, but it was detailed, and I liked that. And the same with showing his head beat in and stuff. I think not showing that stuff feels like a cheap pull away when they don't show it, so I like that they did. Now, back to the annoying internal conflict. Madison's conversation with Strand was a bucket full of these characters make no sense. Of, hey, let's work together, but I'm going to threaten you. Hey, we all need to stand back to back. Hey, but we're not together. I've got my family, you've got your family, you've got no one. Like, it's so stupid. It's so tedious. It's so annoying. It doesn't make sense in the situation they're in very much. It doesn't make sense at all. It feels like the characters, they're not changing in a natural way like you think they would change. They're changing by getting less good at surviving, if that's possible. Like, some of the characters are changing literally for the worse. Like, they're doing the opposite of learning from their experiences. And everyone knows there's nothing more annoying in a show than when characters just go through things and then they make the same mistakes again and again, and they don't really learn from past episodes that fans can say, you've been through this before, you've already done this. So, yeah, it was just kind of irritating once again. So we get Nick finding a stash of antibiotics. Chris is, Alicia and Daniel go to look for Chris, and while Daniel's out there, he finds Alex. I almost called her Charlie again. But he finds Alex, and that is the first time they meet, apparently. And they all have to start backing up because there's a herd of walkers coming, I guess, that washed up on the island with the plane crash as well. Not sure if they were floating around on that raft for days, how the plane crash and all the corpses ended up specifically at that island. But I mean, I guess it's entirely possible given currents and stuff. So I'm going to forgive that. Next up, the Ouroboros Walker was so badass. Such great symbolism. I love how the title was never brought up by word, and it was just through symbolism with that walker and everything. Not sure how it was symbolic for our characters. Maybe it's symbolic for Nick and how the struggle that he was going through never ends. But for the other characters that seem to be doing stupid stuff, it doesn't really make as much sense for them. But it was really cool to me the way it was eating the crabs and the crabs were eating him. And it was so cool looking. It was such good symbolism. It was freaking awesome. And Nick's entire role in this episode I loved. Him and Chris both. And even you can say Daniel sucked as a babysitter or whatever, but I still thought Daniel was really good in this episode, and I like him as a character. The only characters I'm not liking right now are Ophelia, because she does nothing, Strand, because it seems like he's gone from where he was like just hard, like he was hard and doing what it takes to survive, even if that was a bad thing, and they've taken him from that to being nonsensically mean. It's like they needed a mean, antagonistic kind of guy in the group, and they just turned him into that overnight. Some of his actions aren't really making sense with his character anymore. And that's especially true of Travis and Madison. Travis and Madison, I thought they had their characters sort of established and going somewhere after season 1. But season 2 was just thrown both of them all over the place, with neither of their lines or decisions really fitting their characters very well. And again, I thought I was starting to like them, but even after all the good in this episode, there was just so much confusion with their characters, and it doesn't seem like... Hopefully it'll get better, because like I said, the next few episodes look hype, but those two... Not even what they're doing, but their characters themselves as a whole are really getting a bit to where they don't make sense anymore, and they're just doing things for the sake of, oh, this needs to happen in this episode, we'll have Madison or Travis do it even if it makes no sense. We gotta have some internal conflict even if it makes no sense. And that is completely annoying and makes no sense. So the group on the island has a bad-ass fight. The fight with the walkers there was awesome. I loved it. I love seeing them try to start to figure out how to kill these things and defend themselves. Like, they're nothing like our group was even by season 2 of the normal Walking Dead. But of course this is still before that, and it's great to see them starting to adjust and become that. Or at least the group on the island, not the characters that are just a mess on the boat. But they just... It was so good to see. I really liked it. And again, it was awesome to see Travis finally fixes the boat, by the way, during this. And it was great to see Nick learned. He figured out the guts trick. He came through the herd, killing them and thinning them out, and making a path for the others to run. And he escaped with them. The scene where he went face to face with the walker was really cool too. Again, this is like... I really applauded the scene last episode where Chris was at the fence killing the walkers, because to me, if the world suddenly turned to be like this, I would think a normal person would want to learn about what these things are, what kind of world this is, learn how to protect themselves, and develop. Instead of, like, say, what Madison was doing, just sitting there on the boat. We can't develop, we can't do anything to survive, we have to just sit and do nothing. We get sort of Chris last episode learning more, in this episode too, learning more, developing, progressing, and Nick as well. He was experimenting with the guts technique, he learned about the walkers, and now he has something new that he knows about this world. Now they get back to the boat, and they don't let Alex and Jake on the boat. Which again, I'm not going to complain because, oh, that's mean, they should have let him on the boat. I'm going to complain because even if they're thinking about conserving supplies and stuff, it just seems like a dick move that makes absolutely no sense. It seems like a really stupid decision. Like, any fan watching can be like, okay, that was a dumb decision. And characters are allowed to make dumb decisions if it makes sense for the character, but in this case, I don't feel like it made sense for the characters to not let them on the boat. And we end with Strand cutting the raft loose from the boat. I just don't even know what to say. It is so just, there were so many good parts of this, and then all of these really good parts that most of the episode were the good parts get kind of soured by these bad parts that are really bad and nonsensical. And I haven't been really critical and calling anything really bad for the series until now, because now we're 3 episodes in. It's too far in for us to not only still have this, but for it to be getting worse, for it to be a bigger problem and a bigger drag on the series, having needless, mindless, plotless, just internal conflict that does not make sense for the series. It isn't helping it at all. It's really annoying and tedious, and they really need to find some way to do something that's an actual interesting new plot line that isn't internal conflict, because it has been 3 episodes in and they've already beaten it to death so much that I'm like, I can't take another episode of them bickering with each other. It's just so shallow and tedious. So in the end, that's what I've got to say about this episode. The group on the island that we spent the majority of the episode with, it was great. It was some of the best stuff that I've seen in this entire show. The best this season for sure. And then the group on the boat that we didn't spend a ton of time with were just annoying and tedious and did not make sense for the story at all. And just seemed thrown in there so we can be like, haha, internal conflict. That internal conflict stuff, it's already too late because the writers have already had this all filmed and stuff. But, so they're going to be able to hear fans saying it's not good and then change it, but it's not good. The internal conflict stuff is the worst thing about this show. It's really bad. So, in the end for this, man, I was thinking of giving it a higher score than this, but, geez, I'll give it like 8 Ouroboros Walkers out of 10, because, like, I don't know, I wanted to give it something higher, but now that I've gone through this, discussing it and ranting a bit, I can say that although there's so much good stuff, there's a bunch of crappy stuff in there that really drags it down. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there, tell me what you thought of the episode and what you thought of my thoughts of the episode. Subscribe for more Fear the Walking Dead, Tower of God, One Piece, and a lot more. I have a lot of content, so check out the channel and subscribe if you feel like it. Also follow on Twitter if you feel like it. I will use Twitter to say when I'm posting new videos or if anything is rescheduled, to keep you all informed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.